my yoga class. So, y'all know who I am. My name is Tony. And we're going to start with our breath today. So, we want to focus on doing yogic breaths. So, how you do that is you put your hand on your belly and you want to inhale, push your belly out, and then exhale, push your belly back in. And so, these are our yogic breaths. So we want to breathe like this the whole time. And so this is activating our rest and digest nervous system. So it's making us feel relaxed and it's really good for our bodies. So throughout the whole practice, that's how we want to be breathing. So let's just take a moment, close our eyes, and you can put one hand on your belly. We'll take 5 yogic breaths. So inhale. Exhale. So that's our yogic breathing. So that's the way babies naturally breathe. They already know how to get into that parasympathetic nervous system where they're just sleeping all the time. So that's the way we want to practice throughout our practice today. So just keep that in mind. So I want to start standing up because I'm tired of sitting down. So let me see if I can get this to look like I'm standing up. All right, almost. Okay. All right, that should be good. So we are going to stand in mountain pose, and I'm going to back this up a little bit. Okay, so feet together. Hopefully my head's not chopped off, and hopefully you can hear me. I don't know if you can. So let me see if I can get it like where the floor isn't. Okay. There we go. There's my head. Okay, so hands together, feet together. So we're just going to take a moment and focus on our feet. So you have 3 points in your feet. You have 2 points in the front and 1 point in the back. And so it's like a tripod. So you want to just press down on your feet and see if you can feel the 2 points in the front and the 1 point in the back. This is balancing on our feet, so we don't want weight kind of on more than one side or the other. So just take a moment and ground your feet. Okay, and then you want to make sure your knees are over your ankles. You want to make sure your hips are over your knees. You want to roll your shoulders back and down. I'm going to try to fix this a little bit because I feel like it's catching the light. Okay, shoulders back and down. This is mountain pose, so feet together, knees over your ankles, hips over your knees, roll your shoulders, and then you want to slightly tuck your chin in, and you want to feel like there's a string being pulled through the top of your head. So you want to stand up really tall. So all day long, gravity just compacts our spine. So we are lengthening our spine. We're trying to get some length in between those vertebrae. So stand up really tall. This is mountain pose. We want to bring our navel in towards our spine, and your back naturally curves. So you have a little bit of curvature in your lower back here. You can even like tilt your pelvis slightly in and feel your hips align. You just want to stand up really tall. Roll our shoulders 5 times, so we'll do 5 to the back. And then let's do 5 to the front. And then let's come back to mountain pose, hands by your side. And then from here, we're gonna come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. So we wanna inhale, lift your arms up, reach up really tall, come up onto your toes, inhale, come down to your heels, and then just come forward. So we're taking our yogic breaths here. So we're inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. And then slowly roll your head to the top. And then come back to mountain pose, roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, we're gonna warm up our spine. So we're gonna bring our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And then you're gonna place your hands on your hips, and you can bend your knees here. And then we're just gonna come forward. And then we're gonna come to the left. We're gonna come to the back, to the right, and down. So we're just warming up the spine. Just take your time. And then when you're finished, just come back to the top. Okay, so we'll do that on the other side. So we'll come forward and then switch sides. And slowly come to the top when you're finished. And then let's come back to mountain pose. So heel toe back together. And then just take a moment. Let's ground ourselves, bend your knees, roll your shoulders back and down. We really want to focus on standing up really tall here. Tuck that chin in. And just take a moment, stand up really tall. Take some yogic breaths. So we're inhaling through the nose, push your belly out. Exhale through the nose, push your belly in. So we want to be breathing like that. You can even do this thing, it's called an ujjayi breath. So what you do is you kind of clench your throat. You kind of make this like Darth Vader, like windy noise. So you can do that. Inhale. You can use that breath throughout your practice. All it does is it just anchors you into your body and into your breath, and it just brings attention and awareness into your breath. So that's something that you can practice too. This is all increasing the oxygen in our body. We're getting that life force energy. So this is super important. The breathing is the most important part of the yoga. It's super important to stretch your joints, but we want the life force energy, we want the breath, and we want to use all these postures to activate our chakras. But if we're not breathing, then we're not moving everything through our body. So the breath is one of the most important parts of the practice. And so is standing up tall. So we're standing up really tall in mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back and down. Just let them melt down your back. You're going to feel like there's a string being pulled to the top of your head. If you feel like you're putting weight on one leg more than the other, you can rock left and right, forward and back. We just really want to ground ourselves, anchor ourselves. This is activating the first chakra. The first chakra is located at the base of your spine, and it's associated with your lower limbs, so your legs and your feet. So we're grounding our first chakra by standing in mountain pose. Even though it may not seem like we're doing anything, we are. So we're grounding ourselves. We finally have our shoes off. Our mats are made out of rubber, but maybe you'll walk around on the grass after this. I don't know. We're grounding ourselves. So let's do another forward fold. So inhale, lift your arms up really tall. Exhale, come down to your knee, your heels come forward. And then slowly walk your hands to the top. Your head comes up last. Then come back to mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back and down. Okay, we're going to do half moon pose, and I'm going to get cut off. So we're just going to inhale, bring our arms up to the top, and let's see. Yeah, your hands are just kind of clasping each other, and your palms are facing the ceiling. So inhale, grab your palms, just reach up really tall, come onto your toes, inhale, and then come back onto your heels, and then we're going to come over to the left. So you're going to come over to the left side. You're just clasping your hands here. So you want to feel the stretch all down the right side of your rib cage. So take some really deep breaths. And then come back to center, big circle with the arms. Just come back to mountain pose, roll your shoulders back and down, maybe bend your knees a little bit. Come back to this pose, ground yourself. You want to slightly tuck your chin in. You want to slightly tuck your tailbone in, just until you feel your hips align with each other. You do have a round in your lower back there, so you don't want to jet your hips out this way is what I'm trying to say. So you have like a little bit of a round in your lower spine because your spine isn't straight, it's curved. So stand up really tall. We're taking those yogic breaths. Make sure you're inhaling through the nose, push your belly out. Exhale through the nose, push your belly in. So let's do
powering off
pose, Ardha Chandrasana on the other side. So we're going to inhale, reach up really tall. Exhale, come onto your heels. We'll come over to the right. So you want to feel the stretch all down the left side of your body. And then come back to center, big circle with the arms. Come back to mountain pose. Roll your shoulders back and down. Make sure you're standing up really tall. Okay, so now let's come into warrior two. So we're gonna bring our left foot forward. Our right foot is gonna come back. I'm gonna move this back. And left foot forward, right foot back. And the middle of your left heel is gonna line up with the middle of your right foot. So left heel lining up with the middle of your right foot. You want to make sure your knee is over your ankle, and you're going to square your hips to the front of the room, and then you're going to bring your arms out to a T, and then you're going to come into your lunge. So make sure your legs are far enough apart, and then you're going to look out past your left fingertips here, and you also want to make sure that you're feeling the stretch across the chest. So check in with your knee, make sure it's over your ankle. If you need to bring this leg in a little bit, you can bring it in. We're gonna hold this for a couple breaths. So just take some really deep breaths here. This is a really strong pose. This is warrior two. Make sure you're still taking the yogic breath. So you're inhaling, push the belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. And then bring your arms down and walk your right foot in. And then let's come back to mountain pose. So feet together. Really focus on those two front parts of the feet and the one back part of the foot. So your foot is like a tripod. So you're putting pressure on the outside edges of the top of your foot and the back, your heel. And so we can lift our toes so we can activate our feet here and kind of feel what that feels like. So you just want to make sure the weight is evenly distributed in your feet because, I mean, we're all women. Like, how many high heels have you worn where your foot is like all the weight's in the top, right? So we want to flatten out our feet for a second and just feel the pressure points in our feet, and we want to make sure they're balanced. Maybe you have like a foot where you're putting all the weight on the outside edge of your foot or something like that. You want to make sure you're pressing down on the tripod of your foot. And so we can lift up our toes and see what that feels like. And so we just want to activate our feet here. You can bend your knees, make sure you're standing up really tall. If you started hunching over, looking at your feet, just stand up tall. Okay, let's do warrior two on the other side. So right foot forward, the left foot comes back. So the middle, your right heel is lined up with the middle of your left foot. And make sure your knee is over your ankle. And then you want to bring your arms up to a T. And then you want to look out past your right fingertips here. Come into your lunge. We're going to take a couple breaths here. So if you feel like you need to move your leg in a little bit, you can. If it's slipping, just center yourself here. You want to feel the expansion across your chest. So we're opening up the heart chakra here. and then bring your arms down, and then bring the left foot in, and then come back to mountain pose, our favorite. Roll your shoulders back and down. Ground yourself. Okay, let's do reverse warrior. So we'll bring our left foot forward, and then our right foot is going to come back again. And then same thing, the left heel is lined up with the middle of the right foot. Make sure your right foot is at an angle. I forgot to say that. Knee is over the ankle. And then this time, we're going to take the left forearm, and it's going to face up, palm facing up. And then we're going to inhale, bring our right arm up over our head, and we're going to look down towards our left mat, part of the mat, your ankle, your foot. If you have to bring your right foot in a little bit, you can. You just want to feel the stretch all down the right side of the body. So we haven't done this for a while, so we're breaking up all that fascia. You have all this connective tissue in your body, and if you don't, it's kind of like buzz, and if you don't move it, it gets tense. And so that's how you have things like frozen shoulders. So when we're doing these stretches, we're breaking up all that buzz in your body. And so it's really important because that's how you get injuries, because you're not able to move properly. So if you feel the fuzz stretching, just breathe through it. And then bring the right arm down, and then bring the right foot forward. And let's come back into mountain pose. Feet together. We're going to activate our toes here so we can really press down on our feet. Okay, let's come into that on the other side. So right foot forward, the left foot comes back. Your left foot is going to come in at an angle, and then your heel is lined up with the middle of your left foot, and then your knee is over your ankle. And then this time we're going to bring our right forearm to our right thigh, and then we're going to inhale our arm up over our head. So the left palm is facing down, the right palm is facing up. We're going to look down at our mat. And then bring the left arm down, and then bring the left foot forward, and then come back into mountain pose, feet together. Bring your shoulders back and down. Okay, let's come into another forward fold. So we're gonna inhale, reach up really tall, and then exhale, come forward, coming into Uttanasana. So you can grab the back of the legs here, you can let your arms fall forward, whatever feels good. You just want to feel the stretch in your back and your shoulders. And then from here, we're going to walk our hands out into downward dog. So hands are hip width apart, feet are hip width apart. We're gonna drive our tailbone up towards the sky. We're gonna look in between our feet. Take some deep breaths here. So you want to try to just drive your heels to the mat and then look forward. Let's come onto our knees and then let's come into child's pose. So feet together, knees hip width apart, and then just bring your head down towards the mat. So make sure you're taking the yogic breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands back. We're going to come onto all fours. And then from here, we're going to do some cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, chin to chest. And then let's continue this. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. So keep going. Just remember 3 minutes of cat-cow a day. We're balancing all of our chakras. Cat-cow also strengthens our vagus nerve. So we have a nerve that runs from our brain to our belly. So it controls that gut feeling that we have, and it controls our emotion and our brain. So we want to strengthen that vagus nerve because it helps us get into that rest and digest nervous system. So cat-cow strengthens that. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, or you can come back into child's pose if you need to rest. You can bring your head to the mat, touch your shoulders. So we're about 2 minutes in. Okay, let's do one more. Inhale, look up, exhale. And then let's come into a neutral spine. So we're going to come into threading the needle. So we're going to bring our right arm through, and then you can come down to your forearm. You just want to feel the stretch in your left shoulder, or you can come all the way down to the mat. Doesn't matter how far down you go, you just want to feel the stretch in your right shoulder, and just don't do anything that hurts. If it hurts, stop doing it, and you can always go back to child's pose like this. So we'll take a couple breaths here. And then let's come on to the other side. So let's come back onto all fours. So we're going to thread the needle on the other side. So bring your left arm through. And take a couple breaths here. And then let's come onto all fours. And then from here, we're going to come into plank pose. So we're going to make sure our shoulders are over our wrists. But first, we're going to activate our fingers. So what you're going to do is just spread your fingertips apart. So you might need to walk your knees in a little bit. Spread your fingertips apart. Your middle finger is going to be facing forward, and you just want to press down on your hands. So we're activating our hands here. You have a bunch of little bones and joints in your hands, so we want to stretch those out. And then you can even rock some of the weight to the front of your hands, so that way you take it out of the wrist, but you want to make sure that your shoulders stay over your wrists. So again, check to make sure that your middle finger is straight. So these are our active hands here. And then take a moment, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. And then you can come onto your knees in plank. So you can come here. You want to make sure that you're bringing your navel in towards your spine and keep your butt low. Or you can come into full plank. So same thing. You want to bring your navel in towards your spine, really flat back. You don't want your butt super far up in the air, so keep your butt low. So we'll take 3 breaths here. And then let's come into Chaturanga. So half push-ups. So we're going to come halfway down. Then come all the way down. And then we're going to come into Sphinx Pose. So the top of your feet are on the mat. And then we're going to bring our elbows under our shoulders. And then we're going to spread our fingers here. Make sure your elbows are under your shoulders. And then we're going to gently look up. So take some deep breaths here. This is really good for stretching your back because we're always looking over our phones or at a computer and hunched over. So this is really good for reversing that. So we're activating our heart chakra here as well. So you really want to roll your shoulder blades down onto your back so you feel the expansion across your chest. We're activating the heart. This is the fourth chakra. It's located where your heart is. This is just love and kindness, compassion for yourself and everyone else. And then let's slowly come down, and then let's push back into child's pose. So feet together, knees hip width apart. And then come back onto all fours. And then from here, we're going to come into a seated position. So let's bring our feet out in front of us. Let's come into Pashumo Tanasana. So you want to sit up really tall. And then we're going to inhale, lift our arms up. Reach up tall, really straight spine, flex your feet, and then exhale, come forward, and you can grab your calves or your ankles or your feet. It's not about how far you can stretch, you just want to feel the stretch down the back of the calves and the back of the thighs. Make sure you're taking the yogic breaths. See if each breath you take, you can deepen the pose here. So inhale, exhale. See if you can feel the lengthening in your back, in the back of your legs. Take one more deep breath to deepen this posture. Let's slowly walk our hands to the top. And then now let's come into easy pose. And then from here, we're going to sit up really tall. So we're going to do some neck rolls. So bring your chin to your chest. Actually, bring it back to center. Let's do a couple shoulder rolls. So let's do 3 to the back. And then we'll do 3 to the front. Okay, this time let's bring our chin to our chest. And then we'll do 3 to the left. Just take your time. And then when you're finished, just sit up really tall. Again, you can slightly tuck your chin in and feel like there's a string being pulled through the top of your head. So creating all that space in between your vertebrae. We always want to sit up really tall in our postures because gravity all day long has just been smushing us down. And so it's been compacting our vertebra. So we want to sit up really tall so that way our vertebra gets some space in between it. We get some air and release some pressure. So you want to sit up really tall. And then let's do our neck rolls on the other side. So bring your chin to your chest. And then we'll do 3 to the left. So just take your time. And then come back to center, sit up really tall, slightly tuck your chin in. And then, so let's come into Pigeon Pose. So hold on one second. Sorry, Elaine. I guess I never let you in. Sorry. Hi, Yvonne. Okay, so we are going to come into Pigeon Pose. So we'll come onto all fours. And then from here, you're going to bring your right knee across. And then you're going to bring the left leg down. And then you can stay here or you can come down onto the mat. You just want to feel the stretch in your right hip flexor. And I'm sure everyone's is tight because so is mine. It's been a while. So just do your breath. Just take some really deep breaths. Just send your breath to that hip flexor. So this is activating our second chakra that's located in your pelvic bowl. And that's where you keep your emotions. This is your sexuality, your creativity. So a lot of times we say we have deep-seated emotions, and those are in our butts. We're stretching on our butt right now, our hip flexors. So if anything comes up, just breathe through it. You just want to take some really deep breaths here. And then let's slowly bring the left foot in. And then come back onto all fours. Like to stretch this right foot out. Just kind of like stretch your foot out, stretch your leg out. Okay, we're gonna do that on the other side. So come onto all fours, and then we're gonna bring the left knee across, and then we're gonna come down onto our right calf and knee, and you can stay here if you want to, or you can come down onto your forearms. So you may notice that one side was tighter than the other. That's totally normal. Then slowly bring the right foot back in, and then come onto all fours, and then we're going to stretch that left foot out. Okay, and then let's come into a seated position on our bottoms. Let's bring our feet out in front of us, bring our feet to the mat, and then let's roll down onto our backs. Bring your knees into the chest. Rock left and right, massage your organs here. We're gonna bring our feet to the mat and then bring our arms out to a T. We're gonna look over to the left and bring our knees to the right. So we're doing our twist here. So you're gonna feel the stretch all down the left side. Take some deep breaths. Then bring your head to the center, bring your knees to the center. Let's do that on the other side. So your knees are gonna come to the left, your head is gonna come to the right. And then come back to center, your knees come to the center, head comes back to the center. Let's bring our knees in the chest one more time. Rock left and right if that feels good. And then let's come into Shavasana. So palms face the ceiling. Let your feet fall to each side. You can take up as much space on your mat here as you'd like. So let's take 3 yogic breaths here. So you're going to inhale, push your belly out. Exhale, push your belly in. So we're going to do some energetic spring cleaning. So we're going to use the chakras to do this. These are our energy centers. So you have a chakra located at the base of your spine, and you can imagine where that is, all the way at your butt. So you have a first chakra at your butt, and we are going to pick a color for it. It's usually red, but we're going to make it hot pink. So you're going to imagine this chakra, it's hot pink at the base of your spine, and we're going to make it as wide as your hips. So we are going to run our energy, which just means we're going to get rid of negative emotions and thoughts and old patterns and habits and stuff. So where we're going to get rid of it to is the center of the earth. So the center of the earth is 4,000 miles all the way down past the earth's crust, deep, deep, deep in the center of the earth. And it is super molten hot. And it's made out of an iron core crystal. So we have to pick a color for this iron core crystal. So let's make it like a neon purple. So now we need something to connect our first hot pink chakra to the bright purple center of the earth. So we're going to use one of those red ropes that you find at the movies. So like those big velvet red ropes. So you're going to imagine this red rope. It's hollow in the middle, so it's a tube. And we're going to connect it to the first chakra. And we're going to connect it all the way down to the center of the earth. So just take a moment, make sure that red velvet rope is connected to that first hot pink chakra, and it runs all the way down to the center of the earth. And if you want to imagine the center of the earth to the right side of you, if you want to bring it in close, so that way you don't have to run 4,000 miles of red rope, you can do that. So now that we've got them attached, we are going to get rid of some energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of any old thoughts or patterns or habits or memories or maybe someone else's energy that's in your system. We're just going to get rid of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to imagine like one of those really old like toilet chains. And so when we release, you're going to pull on the toilet chain and you're going to let go of anything you need to down the first chakra and into the center of the earth. So we're going to take a breath. So inhale. We're going to pull that toilet chain. We're going to release. Exhale, and you're going to release anything down the first chakra, down the red velvet rope, down the center of the earth. So let's do that again. Inhale. Grab that toilet chain and flush. Exhale. Goes down first chakra, down the velvet movie rope, all the way down to the center of the earth. So now we're going to imagine someone else's energy in our system. Whoever's energy is hanging around you. Maybe you don't even know whose it is, but we're going to get rid of it. So we're going to inhale, pull that toilet chain, exhale, releasing other people's thoughts that are influencing us, other people's emotions that we're hanging on to, other people's thoughts that we're hanging on to, their worries, their fears. Just let go of that all the way down to the center of the earth. So let's do that one more time. This time we're going to get rid of our own negative emotions. So inhale, push that, pull that toilet chain, exhale, releasing anything that we don't need. These our bodies hold old memories, they hold negative emotions, they hold other people's thoughts, they hold our thoughts, so we're just clearing that out. So now what we have to do is we need to bring in our own energy. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to imagine a big gold sun over our head. So it's super wide. It's about 2 feet on either side of you. That's how big this gold sun is. And we're just going to bring in our own energy into this gold sun because we want to collect ourselves back up. We don't want to leave our energy everywhere, cause a mess and hanging around all of our negative thoughts and everything. And maybe they're positive too. So this gold sun's above your head and we're going to pull in a magnet. So there's a magnet in the middle of it. And you're just pulling in all of your energy through the day. So maybe you were in your kitchen, maybe you were in your house, maybe you were in your car, maybe you were at work, wherever you were today, just collect up your energy, make sure it's only your energy. And it's just flowing into this magnet, it's getting sucked up. And now that our big gold sun is really full, we're going to imagine it coming over the top of our head, so it's filling us up. We're filling back up with our own energy. Over our shoulders, over our torso, over our legs, all the way down to the bottom of our feet. So let's do that again. So imagine a big gold sun over your head, and now you're going to collect up your energy from yesterday. If you can't imagine yesterday, you forgot, you were in your house somewhere, so just pull in your energy from yesterday, wherever you were. Maybe you went to the store, maybe you went to the gas station, maybe you hung out a lot in your bathroom. Just take all that energy, put it into the gold sun, and then we're going to fill up again. So it's going to go over the top of our head, over our shoulders, over our necks, over our torso, all the way down to the bottom of our feet. And now we're going to just take a moment and clean out our aura. Our aura is our energy field. It's about 2 feet below us, above us, and on each side of us. And we're just going to pick a color for it. Pick any color you want. And we're going to make sure that aura is tucked into that first chakra. And then we're going to do the same thing with the toilet chain. We're going to inhale, pull that toilet chain, exhale. So we're releasing anything that's in our aura, anything that's in our space that we don't want anymore, we don't need, emotions, thoughts, actions, our karma. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, pull the toilet chain, exhale. Releasing all the way down to the center of the earth. So all that junk is going down and being burned up into the center of the earth. So let's take in one last gold sun. We want to collect up all of our energy. We want to fill up with our energy. And this time, let's imagine where you were last week. So collect up your energy from last week. Pull it into your gold sun. And then once your gold sun is full of your energy, Pull it over the top of your head. It's now going over your aura, whatever color you picked for it. It's filling up your aura, either side of you. It's coming down over your torso, over your legs, filling you up all the way to the bottom of your feet. So we have to say goodbye to our grounding cord, our red velvet movie rope. So let that fall into the center of the earth. Just say goodbye, let it burn up. And then when you're ready, just slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing some life back into your limbs. And then bring your left arm up over your head and then roll over onto your left side. Just taking a moment. And then slowly come up into a seated position. Eyes closed, hands to your heart. So the point of this practice is to go outside after this and get your feet on the ground, because we all need to get grounded and stay really present in our bodies. That's why we do the yoga, is to get grounded with the earth and the universe. So thank you guys for coming to my yoga class. Namaste.